Hello, everyone. I'm Glen Kelly. No, you're not. Be quiet. Yes, I am. No, you're not. I'm Glen Kelly. And tonight we're going to feature our first series in our web series, The Adventures of Dr. Marissa and Glen. And just a little bit about me. I started out doing a local cable show called Funny Guys in Kenosha. And that's where Marissa, I met her, and she acted out some comedy skits on our show. And through the time, I've played in local bands in Kenosha and also in Chicago. I played in a band. And then, once I got to know Marissa, she got me involved at Second City. So I went through the writing program at Second City and the improv program at IO. Marissa had moved away to Washington, D.C. to do a project out there involved with environmental engineering. And then when she moved back to Milwaukee, we got together, and she mentioned that she had a friend that had a vision that she was going to do a show with a guy with puppets. So hence Glen's back in the picture. And so we decided that we were going to work on this little project together. And other things I've done besides that, at the time when I ran into Marissa, I had a web series called Castle Hambone, which prior to COVID, we had about 6 or 7 episodes, and feel free to check those out. But with COVID going on right now, we've had to halt all our production with that show due to the people that are involved in it. So with that, enjoy.
Hello, Lifers. This is Jason Love with Jason Loves Life, and this here is my friend Glen Kelly.
How you guys doing?
He is the creator of Castle Hambone, and we want to show you some behind the scenes of how a puppet web series is made. So take it away, Glen.
Hope you enjoy. Hi, my name is Glen Kelly. I'm the writer, director, producer of a web series called Castle Hambone. It's a show that's for kids and adults. You can tie, I got more string. I was going to run some. So Castle Hambone is a fictitious castle in the land of Hambone. There's other regions with other castles. So let me ask you guys, Jason, you too. So Aldo, the alpaca, he's got hoofs, and we got like we can stick little rods in there. It's about Prince Reginald and his puppet friends, which involve a chicken, a pig, and an alpaca.
All I see is the back of some guy's neck.
Who's this good looking guy?
Give it one. Enough of this. What did the king say? Is it? Cool. All right. So I'm also going to shoot one shot. I created Castle Hambone. When I came up with the show, I wanted to not necessarily teach children or teach them. I want to teach them how to laugh or have fun. This isn't I didn't want to be teaching the alphabet or anything like that. I just wanted kids to laugh, and if they can laugh with parents at the same time and have fun and enjoy it, that's what I did. I love to put a smile on people's faces, and that's pretty much what it's all about.
Can you give me a couple?
She did it like William Shatner would do it. Castle Hambone.
Hi, my name is Marissa Jablonski. I was born an environmentalist and am now a water distribution and wastewater treatment engineer, and am the executive director of the Freshwater Collaborative of Wisconsin, part of the UW system. I met Glen many years ago now when I had written and was performing a tomato monologue for a theater class in graduate school, and went on to do Second City in Chicago. And let's see, a few years ago, I moved to Washington, D.C. to work on environmental projects all over the globe. And I was traveling to Asia, different countries in Africa, helping hotels and other businesses reduce their single-use plastic and safeguard the environment with their choices. When I was giving a workshop, and a man came up to me and said, I love your social media campaign to reduce single-use plastics on Instagram and Facebook, but you should really incorporate puppets. It would be more fun. So fairly recently, when I moved back home to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Glen bought me lunch, and we were just catching up. And I told him that story, and he said, you know what, Marissa, we should start a YouTube series that is to save the planet between puppets and human beings. And so here we are today. Thanks for watching.
Man, you're
Well, hi, Jimmy. Thanks, Groovy. Thanks for making a showing on our news program.
see ya.
Non-judgmentally, and we add it all together, it equals really big change. We make humongous change. Is there a community-wide compost? Is there an industrial or commercial compost? Mental protection, working with kids. When I was 5 years old, I celebrated my first Earth Day at kindergarten. I came home, I looked up at my dad, who would have been about 35 years old at the time, and said, "Dad, why are we throwing our food waste into the landfill?"
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jason Love. I am the assistant producer and director of the Adventures of Glen and Marissa, which is an environmental educational program. I am a local filmmaker. A lot of the work I do involves mental health. I do mostly documentary work, so it's been fun to try out a little bit more in the fictional realm, especially educational programming. I've met Glenn through working on my. Actually, I'm trying to think of how we met. I think it was through mutual friends, but then also I was doing a program for youth, teaching video production, and so I know one of the things that we did early on was he came and talked with them, and then also kind of helping each other out with different projects. And that's a big part of what I do is video production education. So here's a little bit of what I do, at least locally with the youth here or in Racine County. So not here, but close enough.
I am Omar, and my role is the director. My name's Raul, and I'm the cameraman. My name is Hai Trine, and my role in this film is writing. And screaming. So
you're at what?
Actor.
When I say action first, they're gonna run to the door. When I say action the second time, they're gonna run to the door.
Wait. He forgot to move the camera. Go back.
I forgot to move the camera.
No, I think that's good. What did you guys think? Did it look good? Did you get it? All right.
Okay, and now without further ado, enjoy the show. Oh, there's my sandwich. I'll have to throw that sandwich bag away. Ah, garbage!
Hey, what are you doing? You should recycle that.
Oh, shoot. That's right.
Whoa there, buddy. I'm allergic to sandwich bags.
That's it. I'm going to talk to Dr. Marissa.
Thanks, guys. I thought you'd never leave. I survived again.
Calling Dr. Marissa. Come in.
Hello, Glenn. How are you doing?
Not good.
I was just finishing up lunch.
Oh,
What's wrong?
I don't know what recycle bin to put my plastic sandwich bags in.
Oh, that's it?
Well, that, and I'm a little hungry. I'm not sure where I left my delicious sandwich at.
Oh, no, settle down. We'll figure this out together. Here's the truth. On planet Earth, we use 1 million plastic bags every minute of every day and every night.
That's a lot of bags.
And we recycle about 1% of those. And it's not because we don't try. In the United States, You can collect your plastic bags and bring them to the local grocery store or community center. And that's a terrific first to take the second step. This or go ask your parents if they just took out the trash. Many of the things we purchase from the store come already wrapped in plastic bags. Your bread, your carrots, your frozen veggies. There's even a plastic bag keeping your cereal contained within the box. Is there a way for you to reuse those plastic bags? You could reuse them to hold your sandwich, to use as a trash bag in your trash receptacle. Is there a way for you to stop buying new, empty, clean plastic bags?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any containers in your house that could carry your sandwich and protect it from being squished?
Mm-hmm.
Or could you wrap it in paper or maybe a cloth napkin?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Eventually, I'd love to see you making choices that even stop those bags from coming into your home. That's taking the third step.
Oh.
Making your own bread, buying fresh local foods and freezing them yourselves, buying bulk foods and bringing your own produce and bulk bags to the store and the farmers market. Can you help the adults in your family start any of these new fun habits?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Glenn, what are you going to do?
I'm going to use the correct recycle bin, talk to my parents and grandparents about reusing what's already in the house. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to find that sandwich.
Thanks, Glenn. Great talking to you. Gotta get back to work. Biscuits!
How do you sign out on this thing? No, it's not that button. You still there, Dr. Marissa? Sorry. I'm trying to hang up.
I think it's going to look good. Yeah, it looks good. It's just really small.
Oh, I think we're actually it's on.
Jason's head. Well, that was fun. We got some questions from some of the viewers, so we're going to try to see if, probably Dr. Marissa will figure out the answer to these questions, but we'll just play it by ear. Let's see what we got. We have, what is your favorite part of producing this web series?
Ooh, Glenn, why don't you take that one?
Well, for me, I think just trying to help the environment and save the planet. Yeah, right. Because we're trying to save the planet here, right?
Right, and having a good time, laughing. It's been a hoot getting together and talking about these really important issues, and then translating them into language that everybody can understand. A hoot. I always say that that environmental action isn't rocket science. So if we can dissect it down to what is the best thing we can do today, little by little, piece by piece, then if we add it all together, 7.5 billion people on planet Earth, we can make some big change.
She's pretty smart, except she uses words like hoot. Okay, our next question is, why did we start this web series? And it's kind of the same thing.
It's a great question, actually. So with the environmental work that I've been doing with hotels and other businesses, trying to get them to specifically reduce their single-use plastics, one of the things that I've come to realize is that everyday people, like you, like me, like Glenn, they don't know how to do better. They want to do better. No one I've ever met on the entire planet Earth wants to pollute the ocean with single-use plastics,
That's right.
but they don't know how to not do that. And so we started talking about it and dissecting it and figuring out, well, okay, so if you have a plastic bag at home, what can you do? Oh, you can bring it to your community center or a local store that recycles them. But then what else can you do? Should you just stop buying things that are wrapped in plastic? Maybe. Can you do that today? Maybe, but maybe not. But maybe you can do it next week or the week after because you get your systems in place.
Every little bit helps, right?
It's very true. It's very true.
And some of it's so simple,
Oh my goodness.
but we just take things for granted.
Completely. It's like taking a long shower versus a short shower. So you can save a lot of water if you take a short shower. But unless you are conscious of that, you'll take long showers, maybe, if you like long showers.
I don't take showers. I made of felt.
Right on. That's good.
Right on. A hoot.
It's Wisconsin. Come
What did I
on.
tell you? It's pretty smart. The next question was, what is the hardest part about making this web series?
To me, it's getting the language right.
The language, correct. I learned a hoot today, so that's cool.
Because sometimes I would come at you, Glenn, and say something about waste management or waste collection or filling the gaps in the waste management cycle. And you were like, oh, nobody's going to understand that. That's not how people think. So that was the hardest part for me, translating that language.
Yeah. I think with COVID, it was really hard because we were doing all Zoom meetings. We didn't want to be together, even though I can't catch COVID.
Right.
That's a puppet joke.
Right.
But yeah, so
That's a great point,
just trying to
yes.
organize everything
Yes.
through Zoom and all the difficulties with that, which we tried to make a little light of in our video.
Yeah.
I
I think if there's, travel and COVID scares along the way. That's a good point. Yep.
So actually, we had another member that was part of the group, and due to COVID, she bowed out just to stay home, which is fine.
Yeah.
So do we have any other questions? I only saw those first three.
We do. We have one from.
Hey, everyone, it's Jason, the guy that's helping us produce this show.
Hey, Jason.
Hi. We have a question from an acting student who wanted to know how they can get acting experience with public access or local productions, or start something like what you guys are doing.
Glenn.
There's local theater groups. I would start there, or try to make your own just off an iPhone or something. Jason, you teach classes, right?
I do. Yes.
Could you speak to that, and maybe we'll give Glenn a little break with his arm here?
So I would recommend. I don't know if I guess I can come over.
Yep, you can come over here.
Be the voice from
Jason, love everybody.
My recommendation is to get on some Facebook groups and then start connecting with if you're youth, because I know the person who submitted this is still in high school, so getting involved with local theater and then making connections with people who are making stuff. So I know that the people who I've worked with, usually they just check in with me every once in a while and say, hey, is there anything you need help on? What are you working on? Stuff like that. So just staying active and making those connections through networking, and then asking friends who are maybe a little bit further along who are actually doing acting, just be like, hey, how'd you do that? And then they'll hopefully tell you. So.
That was very good, Jason. Thank you. Do we have any other questions while you're in the limelight here?
Actually, I have a question for the viewers. Please put, if you have a question, put it in the comments, so you can just write a question out. I know it's a little bit hard to find it sometimes depending on what device you're using, but if you have any questions, you can throw them in here for part of the Q&A. So we have a couple more. I'll go ahead and bow out for this one. It says, how can people help save the environment?
Well, that's a great question. I'll take the first stab.
You take this
right?
one. Yeah.
So,
I love listening to you talk.
So the biggest thing you can do is, well, this might sound funny, but dissect your life. So when I was giving up single-use plastic, I had to first see all of the single-use plastics that I was consuming every day. So the easiest one is grocery store. So when you go to the grocery store, what do you buy? Right? So
Groceries.
right. So I stood in the produce section of my local grocery store and saw, okay, do I normally buy bulk fruit and vegetables, or do I buy apples that come in a plastic bag, raspberries that come in a plastic box?
Raspberries.
Do I buy carrots in a plastic bag? So that the answer was yes to all of those because it was convenient and not messy. And so I changed my life and brought my own bags and organized my produce purchases differently. And then all of a sudden, my plastic bag consumption was a lot less. My single-use plastic consumption was a lot less. Then I moved into the other aisles, like peanut butter. I love
peanut butter.
Buy it in a glass jar, and then you can reuse or recycle the glass jar.
Genius.
Right? So and then it turns into, I still want raspberries. So can I buy them locally? Can I grow them? Can I pick them myself? Are there other options? So once you start dissecting your life and seeing, okay, what's there and what's not there, and how can I change this? So the first was the groceries, and then I moved to toiletries. I looked at my bathroom, and then I looked to food storage in my kitchen, and then I looked to takeaway foods and to-go containers, and slowly but surely reduced quite a few single-use plastics in my life. I'm still not perfect, but my goal last year was to find a plastic-free lotion, and I said it at a big conference online, and I now have found it. So it's good stuff.
Can we talk more about that, or?
Sure, if you want to. I use carrot seed oil and rosehip seed oil directly on my face, and they come in glass bottles.
Carrot seed?
Yeah, it's really nice. It smells good too, and has UV protection.
All this bonus stuff, folks. Thanks for your questions.
It's a great question. I'm trying to think if there's any, when it comes to environment, plastic often comes first to my mind because it's really making the news. Outside of Australia, they've found physical tons of microplastics on the shores and at the bottom. Sorry.
Aren't they actually
of the ocean.
forming like little islands too?
Yes, the Five Gyres. So it's a nightmare. So that comes to my mind first. But when it comes to environmental protection, we also have to expand and think about things like water consumption and chemical consumption and air pollution, different things like that. But
Sure.
I think the big changes right now to grow your consciousness is to take steps forward. Live with your eyes wide open and be willing to talk about it without judgment. Ooh, that's a fun topic. When I started this, I remember being really judgmental of other people. And then when I started giving up single-use plastics and finding alternatives, it was really hard. And I no longer judged people, right? I still judge them a little bit.
We all do that. We're all guilty of that. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so then
I still can't get over the carrot seed.
So then what happens is you start to realize, they're doing their best. I'm doing my best. They're doing their best. And we can all do better. And we can work together.
I agree.
What's the next question?
We have a question about the Glen puppet.
Okay.
Where did you come from? Or how did you make him?
Well, I want to say my beautiful wife gave the guy down here, but he was made by Connor Asher, a good friend, a great puppeteer. He used to live in Chicago, but he moved to, I believe, Michigan. I miss him dearly. But yeah, my wife surprised me with the Glen, surprised the guy down here with the puppet.
Let's see if you have any more. Let's do, I guess, where can people watch the show?
So
it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube on Science Lab page. How's that sound, Jason?
I had to count the labs. I think that's right. I always say two.
Science Lab.
Right.
It's a great, so join us. And we've already started taping we finished the second one, right? And
we have a 2 or 3
there we go.
We started filming, and we're not quite done with everything, but yeah, we're looking forward to teaching people more stuff about recycling and saving our planet.
Right. And so if you have questions, please comment on our YouTube videos so that we can form more episodes for your enjoyment.
Actually, we can't.
Oh,
The
don't
comments.
comment.
So YouTube doesn't allow it right now.
Okay.
I'll explain it later, but it's because we do kids programming.
Okay, that makes sense. Don't comment.
Yeah, but you
Thank
can send
you.
it to the Facebook page.
Okay.
What? Okay, I'll be right there.
You have to go.
Tunes, what is the production process to make one of these videos?
Sure. Great question. I think the first thing is writing the script, getting together, figuring it out, the language. The second is making sure that that we have all of the. Oh, Glenn, why did you leave? Come on back.
I'm getting old, you know. What was the question?
What's the production process for creating an episode of Adventures of Glen and Dr. Marissa?
How long do we have? No, it's a lot of work, but yeah, the writing. We review what I write, or sorry, what he writes down here. So Glenn writes a lot of the stuff. Marissa and Jason add, and then Dr. Marissa gives us the facts.
And then
or ideas. You give us ideas about
Sure.
things we could do, and
Yep.
some people I've talked to have mentioned ideas that they'd like to see us do.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you put together the animations.
Correct.
Yeah.
Or
And
correct.
the scenes and then Jason and you film
Correct.
and then you edit
Correct.
and then we put it out.
Yay!
Woo!
And
See if we have any more questions.
that's good. So, any more questions? Why don't you talk about? Why don't we talk about
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 if we were in Canada, it'd be
About.
about. I love Canada.
Maybe cover one more time where we all know each other from.
Oh, sure.
I'm going to bring Glenn up here for this one.
Okay. Glenn is coming.
What do you guys want? All right. Whew. So what was the question?
How do we know each other?
So I did a show on the local cable station called Funny Guys for about 10 years. And one of the girls that was on the show was recording an album with her then at that time, Michael Hoffman, if you guys don't know him, great record producer. And she was recording with Mike, and Marissa and Mike were dating. And Mike had mentioned to Tamara, we can say Tamara, Tamara Vendetta, mentioned to Tamara that, Marissa's doing some Second City stuff.
Okay.
And I'm always looking for comedy bits to put on the show. So they said, oh, she's got this funny monologue, a 5-minute monologue about tomatoes.
Sure.
I went up to her place in Milwaukee and we filmed that in 15 minutes. And then I spent the next 3.5 hours there just talking about Second City. And she was giving me all the information how to get involved with that. And I did. And loved it. You know, I've met so many great people, so many funny people. And then, so we did a lot of stuff on Funny Guys together.
Yep.
And then you were always, since I could remember, I would go to a party at Marissa's house and there was at least like 6 bins for compost, paper, plastics. You broke everything down. I just thought, wow, she really lives what she talks about. And, you know, it wasn't just verbiage. It was, she lives it. And I was really impressed with that. And then she went on to get her PhD.
Yep.
And then she had moved to DC to work on this project there. And again, I was always so proud of her because I thought she uses both sides of her brain. She's very funny and very smart.
Okay, good.
And so then all of a sudden she hit me up that she was moving back to Milwaukee. I said, let's get together for lunch. And we got together for lunch at Beans and Barley,
Yep.
a favorite place of my grandmother's and yours
Yeah.
to eat.
In
And
Milwaukee.
all of a sudden she was telling me how this guy envisioned her working on some kind of a show or something with puppets. And I said, wow, that's weird because I've been doing a lot of puppet stuff now. So, and I think I got involved with puppets on Funny Guys, and then it just kind of grew from that. And then I started the web series Castle Hambone. So,
And then you brought up Jason, and you said, I'm working with this guy Jason. You haven't met him.
oh yeah. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to leave Jason out of
No,
it.
it's okay.
He's not even paying attention. He's over there.
Answering questions.
Responding to your fans.
Right.
Oh, my fans. Okay. Sorry, I was starstruck there for a minute. So Jason, I went to I was part of a few different art groups in Kenosha and Racine, and I was thinking of starting this web series, and there's a guy, one of the guys, John Bloner, that was at the art meeting. He was like, "Oh, you need to meet Jason. Jason's your guy and stuff." And I just happened to sit right down I sat right down next to him and Evelyn, his daughter, and I didn't even know that was the guy that John had talked to me about talking. And we just started talking. I'm like, "Oh, you're Jason," and yeah, and it was just, he's a great dad. That was one of the things that he's a great guy no matter what, but I saw him first as such a great dad to his kids. And, it's good to see that. I coached football, and I was a Boy Scout leader, and seeing dads involved in the lives of kids, that always makes me feel good. So, did that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that answered it.
Yeah. Maybe one more time on where they can find the show. They're trying to find
The link.
the link to the channel. If I can't get it, so maybe just say the channel one more time, and then I'll see if I can.
Is it the Science Lab?
Yeah.
You can go through that. That's Jason's channel for his, it's like a science show for kids. Would that be the best way to say that?
Yeah.
And actually I've worked on some of that with you too, now that I think of it. So,
Yeah.
so we'll go through that, and then eventually we're hoping like this will be its own entity, but Jason was nice enough to let us go through his page for showing it, and hopefully a lot of kids can learn from it and help their parents and grandparents and
Guardians.
Yeah, we were talking before the show started just how Marissa's impacted my wife and I, our family. As far as now, I'm more conscious of things, and I'm not using as many paper plates. We're doing more composting. Just a lot of things, but just starting that little bit, I think we were always worried about all the big companies, which we still are worried about, but what about us? What can we do to get this, to do our part? At the end of the day, do you feel like you've helped your planet? I hope to have grandkids someday, and I want to leave it better than I found it. Jim Henson had a quote similar to that. So that's the same with me. I want to leave this world better for my kids, grandkids, your grandkids.
7 generations.
Yeah,
That's what we got to think about.
let's turn this thing around. So yeah, we're gonna have other episodes that are involving different topics, and we touched on a couple of them, like the was it the
microplastics?
Yeah, the microplastics. I'm just amazed at some of these little islands that are forming in the ocean, just all this plastic waste out there, and what it's doing to our sea life. It's not fair. So
Right.
we can all do better, right?
That is totally correct.
Okay. She was really enthusiastic a little while ago. I was just winding down past her time.
No, it's great. I just think, so I get nervous when you give me so much credit, because I still, in my trash container in my kitchen, for instance, there's still single-use plastics there. So no one's perfect. There are certain things that
If the Glen puppet was here right now, he'd be shocked.
Right. So we do the best we can, but if we can do a little bit better every day, that's the goal.
Right.
And if we can talk about it. So the way that this relationship started around plastics, I'm saying, between Glen and I, for instance, or Jason, Glen and I, it was like, oh, I don't actually do that because I don't use plastic cutlery anymore. I bring my own. So I have cutlery from home, or I have bamboo cutlery that's lightweight that I travel with. And then Glenn would say, "Oh, that's so easy." And it's like, yep, you just have to remember to use it, right? If I go to the grocery store and I forget my bags, whoever I'm with knows we carry all the groceries out in our arms, because that way it's a little bit embarrassing and it's harder work. And likely I can find something in the car to pack my groceries in, because if I'm a little bit embarrassed and work hard, then I'm going to remember my bags next time, right? So it's these little teeny tiny emotionally driven things that really get us to change as human beings. At work, everybody's talking about data a lot, and I agree that data is terrific. I'm a scientist. I love data, but what data shows is that human beings don't change their behavior, especially around the environment, because of data. So we've got to pull at heartstrings and say, if you saw, if one of the whales who's consumed plastic bags and comes ashore and dies on the beach, and they open up her belly and they pull out 80 single-use plastic bags, and one of them had your name written on it, one of them said Glenn, how would you feel?
Oh, no.
Would you ever use a plastic bag again? So those are the kind of things that I tell myself that help me change my behavior. And it turns out, lucky me, it has ripple effects. So remember, we're in this together always.
I don't know how much time we have, Jason, but you should tell the story when you were at Second City and you went to the I think it was a Starbucks. And I'll let you tell it, but that just showed me who she was.
Yeah.
You go ahead and tell it, and I'm going to interject things probably because in case you forget, but things I just thought were funny about that.
So there was a Starbucks, or there is a Starbucks right below Second City, and I normally would bring my to-go container and ask them for tea in my container, and then I would carry it into class. This was like a Sunday morning class, so this made sense. And one week, I forgot my mug. And so, oh, no.
No, you were throwing me off with your container thing, yeah.
Yeah, so normally I brought my own container. There was in my car, somebody had bought me a tea somewhere else, and they did it without me knowing. So they gave me a paper cup, but the paper cups are lined in plastic, so it's not recyclable. So I brought this into Starbucks, and I asked for tea in here, and it was all folded. It had been used so many times. It was incredible. And they looked at me and they charged me something like 35 cents for my cup of tea. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm getting the homeless discount because this cup is in such bad shape. And so they they didn't hand it to me. They put it on the counter, and the seam slowly, the glue was opening up, and there was water running slowly out of the cup and down and dripping onto my shoe. And I thought, where is that water come? Oh my gosh, that's me. So then I dug into the garbage, and you know how they sell teacups double?
You had people coming over to help you clean up.
Yes.
They're trying to help the poor homeless girl.
And so then in the garbage, I grabbed the outside cup of another tea cup, and I put it outside to save my tea. And I thought, wow, I've really hit some sort of rock bottom. So talk about embarrassing, right? I mean, it's just horrifying. So I do not leave the house without a to-go. It's like a little kit I have, and it's a to-go cup, and it's bamboo cutlery, and it's a napkin. That's really important. And it's a to-go container, and it's a reusable straw.
But it was embarrassing to you, but you would rather embarrass yourself than add to the pollution. So
single-use plastic and waste is so lightweight that it can't help but fly off of garbage trucks and out of car doors. And where does it fly to? It flies to rivers and streams and the Great Lakes and the ocean, inevitably. So it's like it has legs and basically just goes wherever it wants to go.
Don't give away our next show too
has
much.
That impact. And so it's really important that we make certain choices and close our garbage bags really tightly and just work on the whole system.
Okay,
Thanks.
folks.
Yeah, we got 2 more questions.
Oh, let's hit them.
All right.
What are they?
So we have.
Glenn the Puppet's really sad that he's not here for this.
I just realized I could do this. What started your interest in the environment?
Oh,
Well, yours, you kind of told your story.
yeah,
right?
mine, I was born this way and couldn't help it. So I would ask questions of my parents.
Well, it was kindergarten though, right? That you
No,
got your-
no. My first memory of the environment is 2 years old, standing on the shores of Lake Michigan and saying, "This is huge. This is really important, and we need to work with this." And then it solidified in kindergarten on Earth Day when I screen printed my first T-shirt, which I still have. That's reduce, reuse, recycle, and learned about composting and learned. We were probably already recycling and doing things, but it really solidified at age 5. And then I've been ruthless ever since.
Yeah, for me, I know when I was young, my folks loved to travel, so I got to see a lot of the world, and it's just it's a beautiful planet. And then I always thought like I was doing enough, like to not pollute, to throw things away or whatever. And then when I met Marissa, my world was rocked because I was, all of a sudden I'd have that where I go lay my head on the pillow and it's like, oh shoot, did I put that in the garbage instead of the, so you've influenced me, and I'm glad, and my wife, and it's just funny to see her,
It's awesome.
because now we're not using paper plates. Well, we still do once in a while, but not as much.
Right.
It's just,
it's awesome.
yeah, and in fact, Marissa came over here and I was like, hey, you want some water? And she's like, yeah. And I gave her a bottle of water, not even thinking like, oh, what am I doing? She goes, how about one from a glass?
From the sink.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
The city filters water.
So
anyway,
Jason, what about you? You kind of always like the environment too, right?
Yeah, I would say, pretty young. I grew up on a farm, so sort of seeing nature in a slightly different way than I think you do when you don't get that exposure, and then kind of like finding old garbage in weird places, in like the middle of a farm field, and you realize it's like been there for 3 years, like that kind of stuff. And then just always being really liking the outdoors a lot. So I feel like it was just a natural move to be. I mean, you almost I feel like if you love the environment, you have to be you have to also want to protect it.
Yeah.
At least you should. I think most people would agree with would be in that camp. So pretty long. And then I went to an environmental college kind of to sort of further that and kind of get exposed to all the different different areas of environmentalism, whether it's like, we worked with wolf research to help protect, wild wolves. And we worked with zoos to kind of figure out, how can we help these animals live a happier life, and then also doing stuff like, having a school that had a compost, had composting toilets as well. So kind of learning about that kind of stuff. They used, solar power or stuff like that. So just kind of seeing how
that's cool.
Like day to day could actually, it wasn't really that hard to make that adjustment, but it was about taking an initiative. So I think that kind of took me to the next level, was going to go into school for environmental school.
Very cool. Next question.
Here's the last one. Is what is the easiest first step?
I think maybe awareness.
I think giving up plastic bags, refusing plastic bags. That's the easiest first step. Because then
but I'm aware of that.
Right.
So awareness.
So
this is the kind of stuff she has to put up with.
So you gain your awareness the more you adjust. And it really is a sacrifice at first, but the truth is that once I think about them like tiny little adjustments.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see how many plastic bags are in your life, and then you can start the process of giving up more and more, and just refocusing, right? Bringing your own bag. And just so you know, during COVID, there are some stores and grocery stores that won't allow you to bring your own bag. So there's a sneak around. Quick, but share it. I just bring a satchel, and it looks like a big bag. And so you just bring your own anyway, and it's almost empty. Probably put my wallet inside or something, and then just say, oh, I don't need a bag. And then keep it on your shoulder and throw your stuff inside. That's what I do.
But not stealing.
No, you've paid. You've paid. Good point. You
Yeah,
pay.
well,
Oh my
it's-
goodness.
Just throw it in the bag. It just sounded a little.
You pay. Yeah, you pay.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much for
Yeah,
joining
this
us.
is- This is. I really hope we've enlightened you a little bit. I know I'm constantly learning from this one, and actually now more from Jason.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll try to do these at least once a month. That's what we're looking at. And give us your feedback. We'd love to hear whatever we can hear some feedback, right?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Yeah, through Facebook.
Yeah, through Facebook. So unless it's like Glenn, you need to lose 10 pounds because the camera when it's on me, it adds 20, but on these two, it's like 10.
All right.
So it's not
All
fair.
right.
I look really thin.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look great. So yeah,
So enjoy.
can't even see him behind me.
Enjoy. Enjoy.
But yeah, if there's something you'd like to see, we already have like the next 3 or 4 episodes planned out. But yeah, if you have a question that needs to be answered, and we can help anyone, young or old, learn from it. That's what our plan is, to help save the planet and do it in a fun way. So thanks for tuning in.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much.
it.
Yes. Thank you.
And good night, everyone.
Go team.